Right, okay. Well, welcome everybody to the April 2021 Alban Property Meetup. So this is about knowledge sharing for property investors. So many of you will know that we usually hold a physical meeting in St Albans, and many of you would have been to that. So we've been going for over a year now, Sam. So you've been on every call. So that's been most welcome. So that's been really good, and a change that none of us foresaw. What we've got here is today's agenda. First of all, I'll do a bit of a sort of scene setting and an introduction. Then Sam will do his lending update, and I think every month we all really appreciate how much effort Sam gives us in his presentation and keeping us all up to date with what's happening on the lending. Very excited today to have Eleri on the call. Really interesting background, so solicitor, developer, and also creator of Silvatree. So a really interesting and innovative way to do business in property. So that's I'm very much looking forward to that. Then at the end, I'll just do a quick review and close. So every meeting we've had has been recorded, and here is a summary of our guests of the previous few months and the topics they've covered and the fantastic value we've had. And every single one has been really interesting. We've had a variety of topics to talk on to provide most value to people. So, for instance, Louise Smith last month talked about high-end HMOs. Had a really interesting. She had a really interesting journey with our HMOs and provided some great photos and stories of what she was doing, which was really, really good. Ian Walmsley, who runs the Planning Geek website, so he's been very busy today with the announcement of the new permitted development class MA. Really took us through an awful lot of detail in February about the planning system, which was really good. David Hanna and his colleague Chris Ward took us through stamp duty, land tax, and how they estimate 25% of stamp duty bills are incorrect, and that if you think you've overpaid, how you can recover some of those funds as well. So that, and they've got some great success stories as well. So that's definitely worth listening to. In December, so the last one of 2020, last meeting, we had Jay Howard. So Jay Howard is the co-author of an auction book, very experienced in auctions, and he talked us through the process and what going online meant for the auctions. So that was fantastic. Danielle, who actually in fact lives very close to us, and someone we know quite well, has a great depth of knowledge on capital allowances, and she helped me last year with some capital allowances. So that was really interesting. And last but not least, Ua showed us his fantastic software for analysing deals. And the thing I really like about Ua's software was it gave lots of different options. So you could look at a development, you could look at a development in terms of running it as service accommodation, you could look at it as flipping it, you could look at it as running it on an AST. or as a HMO. So there's lots of different options there. So that was really good. Sorry?
Could you let some people trying to get in?
Okay, so Lisa's told me that people are trying to get in and they can't. So she thinks I'm being rude, but I'm not. Yes, I take your point. So I haven't got anyone to let in, actually.
Have you not?
No. So that might be an old message. So we don't want to not let people in. So Lisa's, who's my glamorous assistant. Oh, hold on. So Ronak's just joining us. Sorry. Just to finish off, I was just talking about and the great software deal analysis app that he's got. So that's so all of those and many more are free to watch on our YouTube channel. So firstly, just a little bit of housekeeping, just to let you know that the event is recorded. So I've just been through that. If you can keep on mute unless you're asking a question, that would be fantastic. It's always nice to see people's faces and interact that way. So yes, it will be great when we can get back to a physical meeting and seeing people face to face. In the meantime, it's great to see people with their videos on and their mobiles on mute if you can as well. Questions can be placed in the chat box or preferably asked verbally. You can unmute yourselves and ask questions, and it's really good for that to have that interaction. And lastly, there's no sort of individual advice. So if someone's looking for specific advice on a particular subject, we might give some views on things, but there are professionals out there who can give you advice. So the objectives of today are to provide our meetup attendees with information and a voice during the COVID. Also, the property market's been through some terrific changes. There's been changes in taxation and the tenancy, evictions and Section 21, etc. There's been lots of changes, so we've been keeping up to date with that, and that also includes the ability to borrow, which Sam's covered every month for us, and gaining learning from industry experts and commentators. So I feel very pleased that with the guests we've had, and that includes tonight's guest speakers as well. And also the idea is to improve your knowledge so that you can invest with more knowledge and have more successful, a higher level of successful investing as well. So you can connect with us various ways. We do have a Alban Property Meetup Facebook group, which Michelle, who works for us, she sort of monitors that. We've got the YouTube channel with our previous with our previous speakers on. In fact, it's divided into sections, so you can just watch the section that you want to. The most active channel though is our WhatsApp group. So we have sort of daily questions and and lots of informed industry people on there to provide answers as well. So it's good to have questions, but it's even better to have the answers to those questions as well. So that's very active. If you're not on any of those or you need some help, just send us a message and we will help you with that. Then what do we do? So by we, I mean Lisa and myself. So we run Alban Property. So this is the Alban Property Meetup. So we own buy-to-lets, we've got HMOs, and we also do sort of service accommodation and holiday letting. This part of our business likes to refurbish residential properties. I think for me, that's one of the most rewarding parts of property, is to take a tired and sometimes uninhabitable property and make it habitable. I think that's one of the real joys, really. We do work with many different people on lots of different projects, actually. So we work with partners on projects. We've also got our short stays business. So this is a business that Lisa runs. So here we manage our own properties for the short-term market. So most of our buy-to-lets, we've now moved to service accommodation or holiday letting. Not all of them, but most of them. And that's worked really well for us. Obviously, it's been difficult during lockdown, but we've needed to change, and Lisa's done really well with that. And we've seen bookings go sort of crazy the last few weeks as the lockdown is planned to ease. We do market and manage properties for others. In fact, we've had like a couple of calls this week, even looking at that and looking to take on people's properties. So that's something we do. And the software we've got, we can also sort of white label for people as well. What I concentrate on, however, is Brookdale Land. So Brookdale Land develops property and land. So we identify opportunities, and we've just had a offer accepted on a farmhouse with some land attached. So yeah, we'll be looking to do something with that. We also work with partners on projects. I think that's property can be quite a lonely adventure, so it's good to work with other people. And we are looking for land and development opportunities, and welcome people's suggestions on properties to develop. And we also taken advantage of new permitted development rights. So in the last year, there's been changes to the planning system. There's been more changes in the last 12 months as there has in the last 20 years. And with the announcement yesterday, there's more planned changes to the planning system this year as well. So with change brings opportunities. And so we're taking advantage of that. So we also, the purpose there is to maximise land and property value.